Hi, this is Frank Maselli. We want to talk today about something very exciting. It's a very common question that we've been getting a lot on behalf of White Glove Workshops. I want to talk about the power close. I call this a great finish to a super workshop. So let me explain a little bit about this because I think the close is an extremely important part. Why are we talking about the close? Okay. Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, the opening and the close are two critical emotional moments in the workshop. And I think you understand this. The opening gets people excited for the workshop. We've talked about the power opening. We've talked about doing something different and exciting right in the beginning. But the close gets people excited for the appointment. And the appointment, as you all know, is the critical payoff of the entire workshop process. You want to maximize the number of appointments. It's the last thing that people will experience before they leave the workshop. The close is that lingering thing that stays with them in the car ride on the way home. It stays with them over the next few days. It's the thing that they will remember, probably the most in many cases, if you do it right. So it is very critical in that regard. And it needs to set a positive tone, and it needs to wrap up the entire event in an upbeat, enthusiastic way. So that's, I think, in a nutshell, why we talk about the close. Very important emotional part of the event, and it really cements the likelihood of you getting an appointment with the maximum number of people. So there are two goals, obviously, for the power close. One is very simply to maximize the number of quality appointments, or the number and quality of appointments. You want to, not only do you want to set a lot of appointments, but you want to set them with the right people. It's one thing to have a bunch of appointments and to have a bunch of people coming in, that are not necessarily great potential clients. That's not the goal. Ultimately, the goal is everybody in the room who is a potential client. Those are the ones you want to see on the appointment. So you understand the difference between an appointment and a qualified appointment. So that's the ultimate goal. But the second goal is to leave people feeling great about themselves and about you, and that's the emotional part of this. So we talk about it in two ways. First of all, there's something we call the appointment close, and then there's something we call the emotional close. I don't want to confuse you, but the power close has two elements. One is the appointment close, one is the emotional close. So let me walk you through this. You've seen the appointment close. We've discussed this a number of times. There's an entire training program called the appointment close. So I think you should pay attention to that, but I'll refresh it for you very quickly here. We like to talk about the appointment, what's going to happen. I'm going to ask you 4 questions. What will I learn that's new? A lot that we can't discuss here. And those of you who have not seen this, I actually have these slides for you. You can use these slides. There's an entire training program on the appointment close specifically. But in a nutshell, this is what it looks like. The black part, the black text, is what you are going to have on the slide. The purple text is what you've got to say to them when these questions pop up. So how long will it take? Less than an hour. What should I bring? Don't bring anything. Will you try to sell me anything? Absolutely not. That's not the way we do business. I mean, you've seen how we work our presentations and our programs. These are educational. We're not here to sell you anything. How will I feel when it's over? Well, you'll feel happy and smart, happy that you took a positive step to secure your family's financial future, so that's a good thing, and smart because you're going to leave that appointment with some very specific strategies that you can use on your own to secure your future, and we're going to arm you with some specific tools. At the workshop tonight, we've had to keep it general, but when you come to see us one-on-one or in a private appointment, which is the second part of this educational process, that's where we're going to get specific for you, and that's the most valuable part of the entire equation, obviously. Where will we do it? We'll do it anywhere that's convenient for you. I'll come to you, you come to me, we'll meet at a restaurant, we'll have coffee, we'll have lunch, we'll do it anywhere. I like to do appointments in my office, and I think many of you do for a variety of reasons, especially if you're using the software to fulfill some of the promises that you made at the workshop. You've got access to that software. But you know what? You could do it on a laptop, and we've talked about the power and the benefit of doing appointments in somebody's home, so that's a great thing, or place of business, which is also a fantastic thing for a lot of reasons. What will the next steps be? There are three possibilities, and I joke with them a little bit about this, and you got to have a sense of humor to deliver this, I think, to some degree. Possibility is one, we decide we want to work together. We begin to discuss specific ideas and strategies. Number two, we decide we like each other, but the time is not right, and so we set a date to follow up in the future. And possibility three, we decide we don't like each other, we call each other names, we run screaming from the room. I actually have these on the slides, and this always, lightens things up. It gets a laugh. Okay, so this is still the appointment close. Stay with me. What are the four questions we're going to ask? What specific plans have you made to triple your income during retirement? What would happen to your financial situation if the stock market dropped 40% like it did from 2000 and 2008? If you died this year, how would your family's lifestyle have to change after paying the taxes to the IRS? And what plans have you and your children made for dealing with rising healthcare costs and Alzheimer's? These four questions deal with the biggest issues that I think people face. And we've talked about these in the appointment training program. We're talking about retirement. What have you done to triple your income in retirement? Wait a minute. What do you mean triple my income? Well, because your costs are going to go up. And you've talked about that in the workshop. Again, we talk about the stock market. I mean, we are currently in our ninth year of a record bull market, and this doesn't go on forever, folks. Okay, trust me, the next move in this market is down, and you want to prepare people for that. You do not want your people to get hurt by this. So we talk about taxes. Obviously, a lot of the workshops you do are very tax intensive, and we want to deal with that. The new tax law has some significant issues in there. There are some benefits and there are some changes that people have to be aware of. And Alzheimer's and healthcare are the two biggest things. I mean, if you ask people what's their biggest concern in retirement, they'll tell you it's healthcare. And we don't have to go through the stats on this, but the stats are quite alarming about the number of people who are going to need long-term care in some form because of the rising rates of Alzheimer's. So second thing we do in the appointment close is we give them something to look forward to. You get a chance to talk. I look forward to listening. You will learn some new ideas that you can use completely on your own. You'll get to see where we work. It's where the magic happens. You get to meet my team. They're even smarter than I am. You'll get something valuable, a free report, a tax analysis, a Social Security analysis. There are many things that you fulfill at that appointment, and you've made those promises in the workshop. The appointment is your chance to deliver on those. You'll have an experience unlike anything you've seen with past advisors, and I think you're going to enjoy it quite a bit. And the final part of the appointment close is to make it as easy as possible to say yes to the appointment. So I deal with this. I actually put these on the screen. I don't have my calendar. Okay, no problem. You can change the date or the time of the appointment later. It's the act of setting the appointment that's critical to your success. I want to think about everything I heard tonight. These are the common objections that you're going to hear from a lot of folks. I hope so. These are critical issues that could affect your family's entire financial future. Now, let me stop. I'm giving you the scripting for this. You don't have to use these things verbatim. I'm just writing this out so it helps you understand the emotional content of this stuff. When somebody says, I want to think about everything, what do you say to that? All right? I mean, without being prepared, you might not have a viable or a valuable thing to suggest to them. So I say, look, I want you to think about everything. The problem is you won't remember anything by tomorrow morning. The appointment is a chance to reinforce what you just learned and to make it come alive for you personally, to see how all this theory that we talked about tonight in the workshop can actually work for you and your family in real life. So I want to reinforce that. Very important. I already have an advisor, and you've heard me talk about this. There's two responses to this. One is what I call the logical response, and I say, yes, of course you have an advisor. Investors today have teams of advisors. Everyone also has a doctor. Your MD would not do your hip replacement or your heart bypass. I am a specialist in protecting your assets for a secure retirement. If that's what you're getting from your current advisor, then you're already doing all the things that I've suggested here, and you're okay. But if not, you can see the difference between a specialist and a general practitioner. And again, I hit this general practitioner versus specialist thing pretty hard in the workshop, especially in retirement, because I want people to understand that there's a big difference between the skills that got them up the mountain and the skills that are going to get them down the mountain. I think you all understand that metaphor. Down the mountain is retirement, And 92% of the people who die on Mount Everest die coming down. We need to prepare people for retirement income planning, and most financial professionals do not do that. And you know this probably better than I do. But the second one is what I call the emotional response. The emotional response is everyone has an advisor, but you're here tonight for a reason, whether you know it consciously or not. And that's an important subconscious point there. When you tap the subconscious, no one can argue with you, because consciously they think they came for information, but subconsciously they came for something a hell of a lot more important. You're here tonight because deep inside you sense that you should be doing better things with your money. I'm not saying you're angry or even unhappy with your advisor. I'm sure they're nice people, but there's something missing. You're looking for a higher level of care, of help, of guidance, of contact, of intelligence, of protection. Now, you're getting all these slides. You can have all these slides, by the way. These slides are on my website. Go to maselligroup.com, go to the resource vault, and you're going to see the appointment close. You'll see slides. You'll see a whole thing that says the power close. So you can have the actual PowerPoint that goes along with this training process here today. So I don't want you to memorize the script, but I want you to understand and internalize the emotions. Very critical. Okay. This is a great close for dinner events as well. If you're doing dinners or lunches, and I say, folks, you didn't come for the food. Subconsciously, you came because you're looking for something. You came because you know on a deeper level that something is missing and you might need help making the most critical decisions in your life. You're looking for someone to trust, to rely on. You're looking for a guide and a true partner who cares more about you than anyone else. And it's possible that I am that person. I always say this because, we complain a lot about the plate lickers when we do these dinner events, and I think some of you are still doing these, and you all know what a plate licker is. I love plate lickers because I can convert them in a very high percentage to clients. And I tell them, listen, you didn't really come for the food. You didn't need me to buy you dinner tonight. You came because there's something going on inside. You came because you're searching for something, and that's the ultimate message here. And I got to tell you, this resonates. This really connects with people. It breaks through that barrier where they say, oh, I just wanted information. No, you didn't. That you think you did. You think that's why you came, but it's really not. And they can't argue with you then. It's very powerful. All right. Now, look, this is a busy slide, okay? And I'm going to leave this up here because I want you to spend a minute on this. But this is the essence of what we call the emotional close. What I just did with you was the appointment close. But the emotional close is a very quick part at the end of the workshop where you bring them back to the big picture, okay? And where you basically say to them, look, I want you to feel great about being here today. All right. And again, you want to leave them on a high. So let me walk you through this. And I say to them, folks, listen, I told you when you came in tonight that this was an educational workshop and I wasn't going to sell you anything. Well, that's not completely true. I do want to sell you something. I want to sell you on you. I want to sell you on the belief and the reality that you can achieve your goals, that you can take control of your future. And again, I wrote this as a script, but, internalize it, tweak it, change it, make it yours. This is where style can really matter for you. And I say, listen, retirement can be a confusing and potentially dangerous time. As I said at the start tonight, for 80 million Americans, retirement is uncharted water. And by the way, that ties right back into my power opening, where I say we are here tonight to talk about something that's never happened before in the history of the planet Earth, and that's retirement. And if you don't know that power opening, you need to contact me because it's really useful. There are totally new risks and many critical decisions to be made that will have a huge impact on your life and on your family's future, but none of this is beyond you. You have the power to succeed. With knowledge, a solid plan, and some discipline, you can navigate retirement waters safely and actually have some fun doing it. Look, you've all worked very hard, and you deserve to enjoy this time of your lives. The ideas from this workshop can help you tremendously. They can make the fear and the stress go away because you will know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and where it will lead you. The best part is you're not alone. You do not have to go on this journey alone. For the past 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is for you, my team and I have had the privilege of helping hundreds of great people enjoy this wonderful time in their lives, and we'd love to help you. Okay, so this is the emotional close. Remember, two parts to the power close. The power close is the entire ending of the event. The power close is the appointment close and the emotional close together. The emotional close is a very short little segment. Now, I'm doing it, I'm giving you the long version here so you can understand it. But the appointment close is about 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. If you tighten it up, again, you can tighten it down to 3 minutes, I think, very comfortably. You don't have to drag everything out. But the emotional close is the ending. This is what you do right before you say good night, thanks for coming, drive home safe, whatever it is, however you end the event. But the emotional ending is a very important time. I really like that sales thing at the end. And I say, look, we told you tonight this was educational. We're not going to sell you something, but I do want to sell you something. I want to sell you. And I think that's a fun thing. It sort of tweaks it a little bit, and when you say, "I do want to sell you something," they get a little nervous, but then I bring it right back. I want to sell you on yourself. I want to sell you on the reality that you can achieve your goals. You've taken a big first step tonight. This is great. You've done something that no one else has done. Look, in this room, there's 25, 30 people. That's it. In this entire town. Do you know how many people we invited to come tonight? We invited 15,000 people, and you're the only 30 that said, I want to take a step to protect my family. You should feel fantastic about yourself, okay? And I want to pump them up a little bit. So this is a picture of the appointment card that I use at the end of my workshops. And I've been using different appointment setting tools for a variety of reasons in a number of years. And I kind of landed on this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's very simple. It gives them several choices, which people like, and it gives them the ability to set the appointment privately right there at the table and check off, whatever they're interested in. Now, is there any one perfect appointment setting process? The answer, of course, is no. You've got to find something that works for you. A lot of folks do the set the appointment at the bottom of the evaluation sheet. A lot of folks are doing now the thing where they pass around the board with the Post-it notes with specific times. Whatever works best for you is what you've got to use. And you might have to try a few things before you land on one. This appointment card, I like it. It's got a bunch of boxes on there. People like checking boxes. I know that sounds strange, but it does work. And I give them alternate meeting locations. I'm a big believer in meeting people wherever they want to meet for that first appointment. Eventually, we're going to have to come back to my office. There's no question about that. But for that first appointment, I will do it wherever it's comfortable for them. And this card sort of helps that process, I think, a little bit. The card is available in the downloads. You can take a look at it on my website. Go to MaselliGroup.com, go to the Resource Vault, and you'll see a click on for the appointment card in PDF form, and you can have them printed at your convenience. This card is exactly 1/4 the size of an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So if you took it to the printer, they could print 4 per page on cardstock, and it'd be very easy. If you need help designing this, by the way, let me know, because you'll see up in the top right, it says your company logo. If you've got the ability to do some design, that's fine. If you need some help, just touch base with me, and I can help you design this. So it's very simple. Okay, so basically, that is the way I would close a workshop. Again, this is very stylistic. You've got to find your own approach to this. This is my style. I tend to be a little bit more dramatic than the average advisor. I like the drama. I like the excitement. I love the passion. I truly believe that people are buying passion. I believe that they're bonding to your conviction. To make a workshop purely scientific and, financial, I think just is a waste of time, frankly. I think this is an emotional event, and obviously I've been teaching this for a number of years. The emotional dynamic is what we teach. So have some fun with the close, enjoy it, make it your own, and contact me if you need anything. Contact your white glove people. They can get you in touch with me anytime. These slides will be on my website. The website is maselligroup.com, and the slides will be in the Resource Vault. You'll see this right when you go to the website. maselligroup.com, Resource Vault. Look for the Power Close, and you'll get this PowerPoint. You can download it right there, and it's got all the scripting in there, like you've just seen. So, folks, thanks very much, and I wish you all the very best.